Hi, welcome to everyone's favourite segment, Mailbag. This one's going to be a single item mailbag because that's all I've got from Canton Technology. So I have no idea who that is or what this is. So, tongue at the right angle. And what do we got? Reusable FedEx packaging. Okay. Oh, okay. It's something from Digilent. So I guess that company was a Digilent shipping thing. Oh. I had no idea. Oh, yes. Look at this bad boy. The Analog Discovery Pro. It's the ADP2230. Of course, I've covered the Analog Discovery before. I've probably done several videos on it, and it is awesome. It's the software that makes it awesome. The hardware is just the hardware. I mean, it's just, an ADC and FPGA and Bob's your uncle, really. It's got an adjustable power supply and stuff, but, and it's great because it's got like the best software in it. It's so flexible. And this is their new Pro version. Wow. I didn't know they were going to send this. So that's really something. A product is considered used if sealed, broken. Oh, well. We now have a used Digilent. That's really schmick. I like the green alloy case on that. Check that out. That's pretty groovy. I'm liking that. So there you go. So film, look at that. Yeah, I mean, we've got proper B&C inputs. We've got digital inputs. And is that pin connection, the standard Analog Discovery interface? I don't know, but what else do we get? We get stickers, very handy. We get a USB-C to USB-C. The 0.1 inch pin header probe's got some spare pins and a couple of probes. Okay, what's the bandwidth of this thing? I can't remember if this is just like the regular Analog Discovery, but like in a professional box, maybe with a beefier power supply or something like that, or whether or not it's got upgraded specs. I don't know. Let's find out. Well, turns out this product is so new that it doesn't exist. Like, I'm not kidding. This product does not exist. Here's the card that comes with it. I got no other information. When you search ADP2230, by coincidence, that just happens to be an Analog Devices DC to DC converter part. Obviously, ADP is Analog Discovery Pro, so that makes sense. And 2230, that is this new model. So, I'm supposed to register here. I go to this address and where've Kamikatsa? And then if you go to products over here, they've got the Analog Discovery Pro, which is the big daddy, which I've got kind of as the National Instruments virtual bench. And they basically, when National Instruments bought Digilent, they basically rebadged the really high-end, I've done teardown of the really high-end National Instruments virtual bench that I've got here, which that's the one I use for like all my on-screen multimeter stuff. They basically just rebadged that as the Analog Discovery Pro ADP 5250. And unfortunately, mine doesn't work with the new software, so I've still got to use the old virtual bench software. Anyway, they've got that model, and then they've got this one here, which is the Analog Discovery Pro 3450 and the 3250. So I assume that's bandwidth. So that's a 4-channel jobby, whereas this one, of course, is only a 2-channel jobby. So this is so new that it doesn't exist. And I downloaded and installed the latest beta software from only just under 2 weeks ago. It doesn't actually work. It recognizes it, but I think it's just getting that from like a universal descriptor or something like that. So it's getting the serial number of it, and it's getting like, it's USB 3, 5 gigabit per second, right? So it's actually connected. I've got it physically hooked up, and it says, check for device not supported, no configuration found, check for software update. So, there you go. It's so new that it doesn't exist. So I can only presume it is a low-cost version of this Analog Discovery Pro here. Now, I believe this is actually quite expensive, right? This 4-channel jobby. So I believe what they're doing is, I guess they got a lot of complaints, we only need 2 channels, right? We don't want to pay for the 4-channel jobby. And it's $1,300, right? This is a serious bit of kit. Okay, you can buy a serious benchtop oscilloscope for the price of this, but you can't get the 14 bits and you can't get the fantastic software with it, right? Which is the absolute killer part of this. You're not necessarily paying for the hardware, you're paying for the software that goes into this. Between the Analog Discovery 3 and the and this one up here, and this one, if you have to ask the price, you can't afford it. And it's, yeah, $2,500. This is Yankee bucks. And the Analog Discovery 3 is $379. So I'd say maybe this new one possibly like fits under there. Like I'd be say $700, $800, maybe. Something like that. Don't quote me because I have absolutely no idea. Get any info on this, but if I can, I'll include it in the overlay. So I guess all we can do today is a teardown. Anyway, there really is no point me going over this fantastic software for this. It's the same software for this as it is for all the Analog Discovery products, and it's brilliant. I've done like the extensive review of the Analog Discovery 3. So anyway, so I've got a nice extruded alloy case here. We've got the external 5-volt DC input, the USB 3 over here, and it's proudly designed by Digilent in Romania and the USA. I assume it's made in China, but you know, would have been nice if it was made in Romania. Come on, Digilent, you can do it. It would have been nice if it had the separate banana plugs on there for the power supply, because, you know, it's got a reasonable little power supply, a useful little adjustable power supply in it that you can ramp it up and do all sorts of, you know, wonderful things, and you can trigger from it and do all sorts of great stuff. Yeah, it would have been nice, but I guess that's, you know, encroaching on the territory of the higher end Pro model, which actually does have, oh no, I thought this Pro 3000 had the banana plugs. It doesn't. So you have to go over to the that really high end Virtual Bench one for $2,500 before you get actual, no, on that you don't even get the banana plugs. You just get the, that's right, the screw terminals. My one's actually slightly different to this. My one does actually have the banana plugs of the National Instruments Virtual Bench. I thought they did have a version of that identical one, but okay. But they do have this Discovery USB programmable power supply over here. So yeah, I guess they're protecting that market. If you want that, there's a separate little power supply. Whoa, $500, that's pretty pricey. Anyway, yeah, I would have liked to have seen, you know, just a couple of small binding posts, or at least some screw terminals. Maybe, you know, you could have shifted this over on the PCB layout a bit and just added a couple of, you know, couple of little Phoenix contact, you know, screw terminals on there or something, perhaps. That would have been nice. But anyway, you've got the pin header. There you go, with a 14-bit 125 meg samples per second, 14-bit 125 meg sample per second scope as well. Does that correspond to the Analog Discovery 3? Except on the Analog Discovery 3 is 30 meg bandwidth on 55 meg bandwidth on this one. So I assume this one is 55 as well, although 2230 might mean it's a 30 meg bandwidth. So that would be my guess, the 2230. I think that's what it means. Same bandwidth as the Analog Discovery 3. It's just in a more pro-y case. No, I suspected there may not be anything under there. Oh, I've got to get in here somewhere. It isn't a split case, so this back panel has to come off. Is that like glued in or something? Because there's no hidden screws. Aha, that's a sticker. That makes sense. That looked like part of the, like a back panel, but it's not. Yeah, there's got to be a screw under there. Or is it on the front? No screws under there. And what is that gigantic hole under there? Oh, there you go. That's a bit hard to get medieval on its ass here. A bit of the glue's come agutsa, so what are they? Deep, long screws or something? Yeah, I do feel something, so I think that is a screw in there. Yep. Oh, that's weird, isn't it? I don't think I've ever seen that. Leave it in the comments if you've ever seen an extruded aluminium case like this that has screws going right through to the front panel. That's really quite something. I don't know if I'm in there. That one's not coming out. What? I might have to take the sticker off the front. Got a lead under there. If I bash on the connectors, I get nothing. Doesn't budge. What the heck? So in complete desperation, I had to get that front panel off, and you can see that screw hole down in there. I got that one out, but I didn't get this one out because it's like, it's threaded or something. So give it a whack. It's not coming out. I think this requires the AVE hammer. Nope. Harder, maybe. Jeez. The other screw came out perfectly. Die! Oh, something came out. Hey, there we go. Got it. Got it. Look at that. Bobby Dazzler. Well, what a turd that was. I tried to be as gentle as possible, but nope. Anyway, yeah, the screw is still down in there. You can see it. And I had to shear off the plastic just by brute force, this plastic extension here, just to get that out, because that screw was stripped, stuck, no idea what. I still don't know. It's still in there. So this plastic end piece actually must come out somehow, but I don't see. Maybe it's just glued onto the end or something. I'm not sure what the deal is. Analog Discovery Pro ADP2230 that you cannot get yet. So yeah, they've got a 2-channel jobby instead of the 4-channel, and I'm not sure how different this is to the Analog Discovery 3. So I'll take some high-res photos of this. I'll put it on EEVblog.com and linked into my Flickr account. So yeah, because I'm sure I'm the first one to do a teardown of this bad boy. We've got 2 power supplies there. Are they fixed at 10 volts and minus for our waveform gen? Presumably, but what everyone wants to see, of course, all the magics in the Spartan 7. Not sure how much that bad boy costs, but it's I believe these are fairly grunty ones. I'll try and find a price. Obviously, they get it cheaper because Digilent originally, I think, did a deal with Xilinx, didn't they? And that's how they could get the price down on this thing. Now it's not so cheap. Back when it was like a student thing, it was cheap. Anyway, external memory there. Oh, upside down. All the electrons are going to fall out. 3.3 volt rail there. Looks like we've got our input protection there for our logic inputs. UPS, that would be the universal power supply, would it? Positive and negative rail, so that would be the adjustable power supply, is it? So there's our 61175 boost converter there, 3 amp high voltage boost converter, soft start, programmable switch in frequency. So are they adjusting the feedback resistor there to give them the adjustable power supply? Don't know what that 5-pin jobby is there, but they might very well be doing that. That would give them the adjustable supplies and 1.35 volt core voltage for the FPGA and or memory. 5 volts VCC here, another 1.2 volt core. There's a ton of voltage levels required here. That looks like our USB power delivery controller there. So that'd be handling all that. 1.8 volt core reg, 2.5 volts analog VCC. So that'd be for the ADC, would it? And where's all the magic happening? That would be there. That would be analog. That would be your ADC. There she is, the ADC 3644, 14-bit, 125 meg sample per second. I think that's the same one used in the Analog Discovery 3. I'd have to actually look up my previous teardown to do a comparison. There's your arbitrary waveform generator, DAC 5672. Relay output, there's your output termination resistor. That's a 14-bit, 275 meg sample second DAC. So, yep, exactly what you'd expect. Is that the same? And if I go to the EEVblog Flickr account, there it is. The Analog Discovery 3, yeah, the DAC 5672, it's exactly the same. And the 3644, it's exactly the same. The front end is going to be, I reckon the front end's going to be exactly the same. Oh, no, it looks shorter. No, the new front end looks different. It looks shorter. So that's an XC7S25, and on this one, it's an XC7S50. Say that 3 times quickly. Yeah, so that one's more better. It's going to have more logic elements. I might put up the difference here if I can, but yeah, it's got a bigger, badder FPGA in there. and but the same ADC, the same DAC, but that front end looks physically shorter. So I'd say they've reconfigured or redesigned that front end. I think I'm going to have to desolder those, so to get a look at that. I'll take one for the team. Anyway, your bottom side of your PCB looks like that, and what do we got over here? Is that a Cypress USB? Yep, that's easy USB, super speed USB controller there. So that handles all that. It's got a USB 3.5 and all the rest of the goodie. USB on the go, blah, 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 blah. But that other chip there, I reckon, is doing some power delivery negotiation, perhaps. And yeah, that's a TI jobby again. Wow, USB Type-C DRP port controller, super speed. Yep, with integrated super speed mux. Supports up to 15 watts of power delivery with 3 amps. Yep, I think this is 3 amp rated or something like that. And it does come with the plug pack. So that just interfaces your power delivery stuff. That's all they're using it for, I think. Well, there you go. That was a bit of a fight to get that off, but I got it. The other one will be absolutely identical, so there's no point. 2 trimmers, exactly the same as we have on the other one. I think it's actually exactly the same arrangement. I think they've just re-laid it out, because if I show you the difference, if I orient it this way and I'll swap between, there you go. So that's the old, the Analog Discovery 3, and it's basically just a re-laid out front end, I think. This is a 4817. I don't know what that is. So maybe that is a bit different. Almost the same arrangement. Got differential output here, obviously. So that's a differential gain driver stage. What's a 4817? There you go. That's a 1 gig bandwidth fast FET op amp. So 1 gig bandwidth minus 3 dB. So yeah, that's exactly what you'd expect to find. Guess, oh look, ADC drivers, go figure. Instrumentation, analog acquisition front ends and stuff like that. So yeah, exactly what you expect. Slightly better performance, perhaps, or something, but there you go. That's the analog front end. DAC output, we've got our ADC, of course, so this will be identical up there. Got our 2 trimmers. It is shielded. They did add ability to shield the arbitrary waveform gen and DAC down here, but they didn't do it. And it's got a slightly more better FPGA. Most of the rest of it is just, yeah, your power supply stuff, and exactly what we saw on the Analog Discovery 3. On the bottom side, just some extra stuff down here. Oh, there we go. Is that our solid state relay there for the AC coupling by the looks of it. So the mechanical relay on top side must be doing the range selection. So that's about all she wrote. And is that like just a little power supply or something next to it? Little local power supply, perhaps for the front end. Bloody black solder mask. Anyway, we've got the Cypress there, and Bob's your uncle. So there you go. No, the board's not warped. That's my Takano lens there doing that. So yeah, cool bananas. Obviously, they're going to position that between the Analog Discovery 3 and the other Analog Discovery Pro 3000, and that'll be a lower cost solution. It looks like almost identical hardware, a little bit more fancy-pantsy. So I think the 30 here probably means 30 meg bandwidth. If it is, that's the same as the Analog Discovery 3, isn't it? So yeah, more better FPGA, but yeah, I don't think you can charge a whole lot extra for it. It's in a nicer case and everything. It's slightly more usable, but you still don't, it's not like you get banana plugs or screw terminals or anything for your, but there's lots of they make accessories, lots of third-party accessories for, plugging into the Analog Discovery pinout here. But yeah, it's in a more better a case, but you can't charge a huge amount extra for it, I don't think. But anyway, thank you very much, Digilent, for sending that one in. It's completely unreleased, and sorry I can't use it at all. But I'll link in my Analog Discovery 3 video down below, and I extensively use the software in that, and it can do lots of weird and wacky things, and it's absolutely fantastic, and that's really what you're paying for. You're not necessarily paying, although the hardware's quite expensive. These FPGAs, these ADCs and DACs, these really high-speed 14-bit jobbies, these are not cheap. So you can go and try and build your own and try and buy these chips one-off, or even in, you know, medium volume or something, lowish volume, and just try and build your own, and you'll find out pretty quick that the hardware, you know, you can't spin this board out for 10 bucks. You know, it just doesn't work like that, right? These are really high performance ADCs and DACs and FPGA and everything, so rather pricey. But yeah, you're really, the software is where the value is in this thing, and the waveform software is just absolutely incredible. So check that out in my Analog Discovery 3 video. Anyway, if you like that, give it a big thumbs up, and as always, discuss down below. Catch you next time.